Hi, Sister Smith. So, I think I've got the Joseph Smith Scripture Mastery, and I'm passing it off with Mom, but I wanted you to be able to see it. So, I guess here goes. After I had retired to the place where I had previously designed to go, finding myself alone, I knelt down to offer up the desires of my heart unto God. I had scarcely done so when I was seized upon by some power that had such an astonishing influence over me as to bind my tongue so that I could not speak. Thick darkness gathered around me, and it seemed for a time as though I were doomed to sudden destruction. But exerting all my powers to call upon God that I might be delivered from the power of the enemy that had seized upon me, I was about to sink into despair and abandon myself to destruction not to an imaginary ruin, but to some actual being from the unseen world that had such marvelous power as I had never before seen in any being. Just in this moment of great alarm, I saw a pillar of light directly above my head, above the brightness of the sun, that descended gradually until it came upon me. No sooner had it appeared than I found myself delivered from the enemy that held me bound. When the light rested, I saw two personages whose brightness and glory defy all description, hanging just above me in the air. One of them spake unto me, calling me by name, and gesturing to the other, and said, "This is my beloved Son, hear him." My object in going to inquire of the Lord was to find out for myself which of all the sex was right, that I might know which one to join. So no sooner than I did gain possession of myself so as to be able to speak, then did I ask the personages which of all the sex was right, for it had never entered into my heart at that time entered into my heart that all of them should be wrong, and which to join. My answer was that they were all wrong, and I should join none of them, for they were all wrong. And the personages that addressed me said that their creeds were an abomination in his sight, that those professors were all corrupt, that they do draw near me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me, that they do teach for doctrine the commandments of men, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. They forbade me again to join any of them, and many more things did they say unto me, which I cannot write down at this time. When I had come to myself again, I found myself lying on my back, looking into heaven. When the light departed, I had no strength, but having soon recovered in some degree, I went home. And as I leaned against the fireplace, my mother asked me if I was all right, and I replied, "All is well. I am well enough off. But I have learned for myself that Presbyterianism is not true." It seems that the adversary knew from a very early point in my life that I was destined to prove a destroyer and an annoyer in his kingdom. Destroyer and an annoyer in his kingdom. Why else should the powers of darkness combine against me? Why the objection and persecution that arose against me almost in my infancy? Alright, that's all of it. I know I've probably messed up a couple of them, but I think where that one's concerned, I think that's okay. Thank you